When I was 4 years old, my father told me that there is no Santa Claus. And as I gazed at that rotund, beautifully bearded, red-costumed old man, I just nodded silently and passed on. I didn't really think about whether there should have been a Santa Claus in real life or not. Fast forward a couple of years, and on the early evening news, one of the news editors read a letter from the editor back at the turn of the 19th century to a little girl about whether there was a Santa Claus. And his response was, "Yes, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus." Throughout history, there have been some amazing letters. This letter ranks among the foremost in its eloquence and its delicate way of answering a question that is difficult to answer and yet very easy to answer, because sometimes faith is believing in things when common sense tells you not to. And if we didn't have dreams, and if we didn't have hope, and if we didn't have imagination, then we wouldn't have cars. We wouldn't have our iPhones. We wouldn't have our smartphones. We wouldn't have all those apps and no-code solutions. Each Christmas, I always read this letter, and throughout the year when I am feeling down, I read it too. So please join me and listen. You can listen with your eyes closed. You can watch this video, but listen with your heart as well as your mind. And remember a time when you still believed that anything was possible. 8-year-old Virginia O'Hanlon wrote a letter to the editor of New York Sun, and the quick response was printed as an unsigned editorial September 21st, 1897. The work of veteran newsman Francis Church has since become history's most reprinted newspaper editorial, appearing in part or whole in dozens of languages, in books, movies, and other editorials, and on posters and stamps. Virginia writes, "Dear editor, I am 8 years old. Some of my little friends say there is no Santa Claus. Papa says, if you see it in the sun, it's so. Please tell me the truth. Is there a Santa Claus?" Virginia O'Hanlon, 115 West 95th Street. Virginia, your little friends are wrong. They have been affected by the skepticism of a skeptical age. They do not believe except they see. They think that nothing can be which is not comprehensible by their little minds. All minds, Virginia, whether they be men's or children's, are little. In this great universe of ours, man is a mere insect, an ant, in his intellect, as compared with the boundless world about him, as measured by the intelligence capable of grasping the whole of truth and knowledge. Yes, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus. He exists as certainly as love and generosity and devotion exist, and you know they abound and give to your life its highest beauty and joy. Alas, how dreary would be the world if there were no Santa Claus. It would be as dreary as if there were no Virginias. There would be no childlike faith then, no poetry, no romance to make tolerable this existence. We should have no enjoyment except in sense and sight. The eternal light with which childhood fills the world would be extinguished. Not believe in Santa Claus? You might as well not believe in fairies. You might get your papa to hire men to watch in all the chimneys on Christmas Eve to catch Santa Claus. But even if they did not see Santa Claus coming down, what would that prove? Nobody sees Santa Claus, but that is no sign that there is no Santa Claus. The most real things in the world are those that neither children nor men can see. Did you ever see fairies dancing on the lawn? Of course not. But that's no proof that they are not there. Nobody can conceive or imagine all the wonders there are unseen and unseeable in the world. You may tear apart the baby's rattle and see what makes the noise inside, but there is a veil covering the unseen world which not the strongest man, nor even the united strength of all the strongest men that ever lived could tear apart. Only faith, fancy, poetry, love, romance can push aside that curtain and view and picture the supernal beauty and glory beyond. Is it all real? Ah, Virginia, in all this world there is nothing else real and abiding. No Santa Claus, thank God, he lives, and he lives forever. 1,000 years from now, Virginia, nay, 10 times 10,000 years from now, he will continue to make glad the heart of childhood. Santa Claus and the spirit of his generosity, warmth, bounty, and unconditional love exists in our hearts, and that spirit is to be replicated. Thank you for listening, and thank you for watching. Take care.